speakers, authors. But let's get it started. Woo! Mix it up. Great morning. I'm going to take everybody off mute. We got to feel that energy. How you feeling? How you feeling? You got to get the energy up in the morning. Woo! Herbalife tea yet? Have your tea or your total control, or maybe you're prepared. If you're on the Herbalife products, if you're not, soon you will be. Don't worry, we're going to get you right. And that's how you get energized, you guys. It's Monday, and life is about energy. So I'm so excited to get this week started. We've got an amazing, amazing author, businessman, speaker, family man, dad. You know, happy Father's Day to all the fathers. You know, I know it was yesterday, but let's shout them out today. All the fit dads and soon-to-be fit dads. Excited for you guys. So he's the one that actually sparked the move for us to Miami, just started us thinking about it, because he said 85% of people live within 10 miles of where they grew up. He said, you got to get uncomfortable. You got to move. He actually moved. I can't remember where he started, but he then moved to San Diego, where he lived in La Jolla, said it was too comfortable. Then he moved to LA, was working there and was growing. And then he moved to Miami. He actually lives a little north of us in a place called Sun Yaos in Miami. So it's amazing that that little thing sparks so much, you know, change in our life. And I hope that some of his words spark some thinking in yours. That's really the intention of Triple M, is to create the thinking that creates the actions that creates the results you want. Because I want you guys to know this. Your thinking is very important. If nobody ever told you this, your thoughts are super important, because what you think about, you bring about. So we're going to be getting some new thoughts, and that's what really Triple M is. You're going to be hearing the thoughts and thinking the thoughts of a millionaire on his way to a billionaire, family man, world changer. We actually are going to his event out here in Miami on the 29th of this month, so I can't wait. So let's get into it. Grant Cardone is going to give you guys some nuggets. Get your notebook out so we can get some shares at the end. I can't wait to hear from you guys. And without further ado, my man, Grant Cardone.
Outsource everything. This idea that you're going to be a solopreneur, outsource or work 4 hours or part-time, you guys try to do the part-time thing, you will have full-time problems. Forever, to the end of your life. Not only will you have problems, because you're selfish if you're trying to do a 4-hour work week. You're selfish. You're thinking only about yourself. If you don't scale and hire people, you're also selfish. You're trying to manage money rather than saying, hey, I have a great message. Like you have an obligation, man, to get out there and help people. So I don't know how to do 10 hours. I know I need 6 to 7, maybe 8 hours of sleep a day. The question is, how am I going to best utilize my other 16 hours with my family, as a father, as a community leader, as somebody that's interested in changing the conditions around me, right? And how can I use that phone to maximize those 16 hours? And how can I spend time with my kids that actually adds value to my business, right? How can I create a studio so me and my wife can work together on Wednesdays? Like everything that we do here is about my life, so that I'm dropping stuff into my life bucket. My work gets dropped in here, so it's like everything I do. I go on a trip, I go look at real estate, I do an interview, I set up a house in Deer Valley for a month. I have people come over, investors, I look at real estate. Everything is basically, what is it?
You're charting.
Yeah, exactly. Inside a soup, right? I'm making a meal called my life. And that's what I would tell people to do. Quit thinking about how little you can do and start thinking about how many different things can I do in the same day.
Rule number 2, invest in yourself.
I'm going to save money. This is what you hear. If you look on the internet, how do I make money? First thing you got to do is you got to save money. What do you hear the politicians say? The middle class. I'm here to save it. What if there is no middle class and it was just made up to keep the people civil? See, that's how you're going to play this game. You got to be available. People have to know you. Don't talk to strangers. Strangers got everything you want, man. Everything you want, a stranger's got it. Your friends ain't got nothing. Right? If it's up to your friends, you're done. You're like, oh, my friends are broke. I'm 25 years old. Everybody around me was broke, okay? My mama was scared. Every time, my mama, Tuesday, she's clipping coupons. That was the reason to get the newspapers. The coupons are coming. She would sit there and clip them, man. She had them in the little box. I learned that for 16 years. I watched my mom do that. For 16 years, my mom would tell me, hey, Grant, turn those lights off. Turn those lights off. Me and my twin brother, turn those lights off. From across the house. She could hear me walk out of my bedroom 75 feet away and say, hey, turn those damn lights off. I told you, okay? Twin brothers, okay? I'm 16 years old, my twin brother. My mom said, when you guys go pee, do it together. Saves water. Saves water, right? Okay. When my mom fed me, because I had a great mom. Unbelievable. How many of you had great parents? Give your parents a great hand, huh? Good. Hey, just because they were great parents doesn't mean they weren't confused, right? Because my mama was confused, man. My mom did not know how to make money. She had no education. She had no ability. She had never held a job. She did not know how to get money. So what she had to do was protect the little bit of money she had. Sell or be sold. She was sold on conservation. Reduce risk. Don't spend. Contract. Protect it. Defend it. You understand? Diversify. Have a lot of little bets all over the place, okay? Lots of little bets. You should never have a lot of bets all over the place until you're extremely wealthy. When you're trying to get wealthy, you want to go all in and it not be a bet. You need to know the space so well that you're like, I know for sure this is going to work. What do you know will pay you every time? For sure. You.
Rule number 3, make decisions quickly.
Make decisions quickly so that I can sell things quickly. Because if you do it a certain way, you give yourself permission to ask other people to do the same thing. It's built-in ethics. At the end of the last year, on December the 13th or 14th, Captain Ryan's in the room. I said, dude, we're going to buy a plane by the end of the year. Okay? I'm going to wipe out my tax bill. I'm going to buy a damn plane, and we're going to wipe it out. Okay? I bought a plane in less than 9 days. Brand new plane in 9 days. The guy at Gulfstream says, dude, nobody does this. Most people take 9 months. Some people take 9 years. 9 days, we bought the plane. Bought it, shopped it, bought it, closed it. He's like, nobody does that. It's ridiculous. Huge purchase, big purchase. Typically a very long cycle, a lot of shopping. Guarantee you that decision that quickly will make me a lot of money. You understand why? That's how I make decisions, man. So what do I expect you guys to make decisions the same way? I spent $50 million in freaking 90 minutes, and you guys take freaking 9 months to spend $6 grand. Make decisions quick. Make decisions as fast as you can. Stay certain. You can get new money. Everybody agree? See, when I do that in my own life, I can press you to do the same thing. I've given myself permission, and in this universe, given myself permission to push people to do things faster. If you take a long time to do things, your buyer will then be allowed to take a long time to do things. You shop a second place, a third place, a fourth place, a fifth place, a sixth place, guess what? They will too. You got to get a best deal because your daddy taught you to get a good deal, never be taken advantage of, shop 2 and 3 places, get your best discount, it's got to be on sale. Then guess what? Every customer you have is going to what? Give me a deal, man. Give me a deal, man. Give me a deal, man. Okay? Your worst customers are the ones you give the best deal to. Never can make them happy. They want something. Oh, give me something extra. Give me something else. The mooch. Never satisfied. Right or wrong? Because you guys are mooches. You guys are mooches. Just be honest, man. You can't fix what you deny. You're a mooch, they're going to be a mooch. They're cheap, they're going to be cheap. You're cheap, they're going to be cheap. You take a long time, they're going to take a long time. You shop 4 or 5 places, they're going to do the same thing. You need more information, they're going to do the same thing. You got to have your wife involved, they're going to do the same thing.
Rule number 4, scale.
Everybody's trying to go out there and not sell. You guys are all trying to like, I'm gonna be talented. Talent does not win. I know a whole bunch of guys less talented than me that beat me for years. They beat me because they got exposure in the marketplace.
Can you name some of those names?
Just in different sectors. Okay. In real estate, okay? There's a group that they went out and bought 140,000 units. I got 4,500. They're not as good. They take a lot of shortcuts. They don't take care of the tenant as well as I do, but they thought way bigger than I did. So You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in different spaces. There was an automotive space that I was in for years. I was the leader in the automotive space. Me and another guy constantly combating, right? He had a garbage product. He sold for less than I did. He scaled better than I did. He beat me at the scale game. So you can't see. A lot of people say, "Look, man, Steve Jobs started his business in a garage." I think Cadillac's got a commercial where the Cadillac was created in a garage. Who else? Bill Gates started his business in a garage. Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook in a dorm. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, man, I can do this from home." None of those companies got big when they stayed in the garage of the dorm. Marky Z didn't make it until he moved to Silicon Valley and built a team, okay? Google didn't become Google until they had a campus in Silicon Valley and they scaled to tens of thousands of employees. So you have to scale to be great.
So would you say then for the average entrepreneur out there, as they're growing their business, getting those sales, they should definitely be setting some of that income aside?
You should
outsource?
You should not be thinking about what you can live on, right? Oh, I made $8,000 this month, man. All of it's net profit. All that money should be reinvested in people. So that's why people think incorrectly. That's why I always go back to this argument about, look, the solopreneur is selfish, almost like a little selfish child, right? I'm going to go out. I left my job. I was making 90 grand. Now me and Gary Vaynerchuk had this conversation. I was making 90 grand. Now I'm going to work for myself and make 90 grand. And Gary's like, well, yeah, the guy's better off. The guy's better off working for himself for 90 grand than working for somebody else. And I'm like, dude, nobody's better off working for 90 grand. You can't live on 90 grand.
Not today, you can't.
No, anywhere in America. There's nowhere in America. You live for 90 grand in Miami, you're going to have $12,000 before taxes. Left over at the end of the year if you don't shop at Whole Foods. So the point of that is, if you were working for $90,000 for a company and then you go work for yourself for $90,000, you should be taking that money and buying a secretary, buying a receptionist, buying scale, buying a sales team, reinvesting money. You should not have any money left over at 90 grand. All of it should be going to be poured back into the business to scale out, unless all you're thinking about is yourself.
Right.
Rule number 5, have an insane work ethic.
LeBron shows up. This dude comes in 15 minutes before practice, and LeBron gives him that look like, hey, dude, what's going on here? He's like, what do you mean I'm 15 minutes early? He's like, should have been here an hour ago. And when he says that to this dude, the guy knows LeBron's been there for 2 hours. So all I ask you to do, like, here's a guy, probably the best that's ever walked out on a basketball court, short of Michael Jordan. But both of them had one thing in common. They worked, okay? It wasn't about just their talent. It was about their work ethic. People knew them for their work ethic. So just ask yourself this week, do people know you for your work ethic? Are people like, man, you work hard? Are people actually commenting about you showing up early and staying late? Because if they're not, then you're just blending in with everybody else's work ethic. At the end of the day, talent will not win the game. It is work ethic that will win the game. So when I saw this, I'm like, here's a guy, top of his game, he's got all the money you could possibly, he could never spend all his money. Impossible. He'll be a billionaire, okay? And he's showing up 2 hours early to make sure he plays the game, to make sure he's in physical condition, to make sure that he can stay in the game long past it. He doesn't even need it. He's got all his rings. I got to tell you, I was so inspired by it because I got a bunch of partners. I got guys that I do business with. I got one of them in particular that I'm having some problems with. He told me, man, if I had your money, dude, I would retire. He said it to me over and over, and I hadn't been listening to it enough to understand. He wants to go lay down, okay? You cannot run, what's that thing called you did? You can't do an Ironman with that attitude. Don't know why you'd want to do an Ironman. But I tell you what, if you could do an Ironman and then take that and add it to your career, to the longevity of your career, you know, because look, it's going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's going to be 20 years. You're going to look back and say, and the marketplace is going to reward whatever you do every day.
Rule number 6, be a fighter.
I'm in a lot of battles every day that nobody sees. I mean, some of these battles are brutal, man. Like there's some things, it doesn't matter how many people you have around. You could have 85 employees, another 150 some other place. You could be married, have kids. There are so many things that a person, if you're in the game all the way, you will have to do by yourself. You're gonna die by yourself. Like, it doesn't matter how many people you get around. Dude, there's some things you gotta confront your fears by yourself. You gotta confront your doubts by yourself. Like, that's the stuff that I'm doing every day. So I'm stringing a lot of futures. I got a lot of games going on all the time. I got a lot of games I want to win at. Half of them I lose, half of them I win, but I'm gonna fight. Like I have a tremendous, I don't have the flight.
Fight or flight.
I have the fight. I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. Like, I've really trained the fighter because I remember being bullied as a kid and I didn't like it. So, you know, I'm a fighter. I'm in there figuring out the fight. Like, all the stuff that I do all the time, the webinar, I've done 3 webinars in 22 days. Nobody's done that. Nobody's ever done bang, 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 bang. Two are free. The third one we sell. Like, I mean, super successful. These are best-selling, multi-million-dollar webinars out of an idea. While I'm doing that, I'm negotiating a $160 million sale, $125 million refinance, $160 million purchase. We started our 4th fund. Dude, just like,
Pressure.
How do you do it? The more you guys get going on, the better you're going to like the game. I'm telling you. You're confused, man. You want more activity. You want more threats. You don't want less. You got to slow down. When you slow down, the environment becomes threatening. When you speed up, it becomes your environment.
Rule number 7.
Man, fired up. Great nuggets, great nuggets. All right, you guys, so let's get into some takeaways. Remember, if you're at, maybe you're at a job where you can't talk right now, go ahead and put in the chat bar what your takeaways were, and we'll read a few. So I'm going to get you a couple of mine. So number 1, I really like maximize your life. I was thinking about that actually today. For me, I started inside of mechanical engineering when I was in college. I like cars because of Fast and Furious, and I was good at math. So my pop said, yo, engineering. I was like, cool. What do they make a year? That sounds cool. I'll do it. But what I found is that it wasn't fulfilling for me. But what I asked myself, what do I really like to do? What would I do for free? And then I'll figure out the money later. And I said, I always love fitness and health because as a kid, I was overweight and it helped me transform. Getting in the gym, working on my body and how it moved and how it looked and how it gave me confidence changed my whole life. So I said, you know what, if I can figure out how to do this to help people, even if I don't make enough money, I can figure it out later because happiness is the base. But what I didn't know is that all those hours I put in the gym, all those hours I put in reading magazines and asking mentors at the gym and asking people around me that were further along in their fitness journey, and then switching my major to kinesiology in undergraduate, and then going on to physical therapy school, learning about the body, doing working on cadavers and taking a person, together with our team and group, we dissected actual human being. You had to do it for doctorate of physical therapy school. I didn't know that all those hours upon hours would lead to the value that I would one day bring to the marketplace. And what I mean by that is that for you to become a master at anything and really gain the kind of income that you want, if you want to be abundant, like if you said you don't want to live average, you're going to have to gain a lot of income by being very valuable to the marketplace. But what is great about that is if you can find a way to tie your passion into it, those hours that you're putting in can still bring value to the marketplace. For example, there's some people that love video games. There's some people that love fashion. There's some people that love, blogging and adventuring. There's ways to turn that into income. So all those hours that you've learned from experience aren't just wasted because you're tying them into your life. There were so many things that I did along the way that I had no idea that would tie into my life later if I was smart enough to say, hey, let me try these things. For example, I worked on, working out. So I had knowledge about working out, started doing workout videos, grew our social media. I had knowledge about speaking because I used to mess around and do videos because I said one day I want to be like, I'm going to make the perfect push-up or infomercial or something because I'm going to have to pay for this student loan debt. So I'll work on videos. So that helped me speak better. There was times where it was in between school, undergraduate and graduate. I went and got a server job because I was like, tips make good money, right? So I learned about how to work with people. Roxy always looks at me crazy because she was a server for 10 years. I was for too much, but I learned people skills. I learned how to meet somebody in whatever wavelength they are, meet them in the middle. So if it was a table that was angry, if it was a table that was very different from me, if it was a table that was a different age than me, I had to learn how to connect with them right off the bat. So many people don't know how to connect with people if they're not like them. They're not in their little circle. They don't look like them. They're not their same age. They're not from their same town. I had to learn how to connect with people when I was 25, 23, that were 65, that were different looking backgrounds than me. I had to know how to connect with them off the bat. Why? Because I was their only server and they were my table. So I had to find out how to connect quick with people. I didn't know how that would help me later down the line when I'm working now in a business that is a people business where we help people get healthy as Herbalife distributors, and we help people start their own health and wellness business as Herbalife distributors. Why? You know what? How did I find that worked out for us? Now I'm able to work with all kinds of different people and backgrounds. In our team and organization, in our client base, we have anywhere from, we've had high school kids start all the way up to 60s and 70s. Where did we learn things like that? People skills. So all these things that you're building along the way, if you can find an avenue for them to be valuable for you later down the line, is so crucial because you have all these hours. Just think about what you've done in the past that you put hours and hours into. And that can also add to your value in the marketplace. So I like that because even now, for example, Roxy and I, right? We work from home together. We've built that into our business. So what do? We promote working from home. We promote working together as a couple. We promote our family. We promote that because that's our life. So now it brings value to our business. It brings value to our relationship. It's something we can work on together. And it's a niche in our persona, in our image of our business. It's all built together with intention. So what are you doing that's bringing your things together? What do you love to do and how are you bringing it into what you want to bring to the marketplace? You guys, Triple M started because I had the goal of, I want to do a video show. I want to be a show. Like I said, I'm going to be Dr. Oz meets The Rock, right? Dr. Oz has a show. Let's start Triple M. Triple M just used to be a video that we would record and put it on Facebook. Then we said, why not do it live? Then we said, why not invite everybody? That came from just seeing what do we like to do? Roxy and I like to do personal development. Why not share with people? Then it became a part of our business. So what are you doing that you can bring into your business to add more value, but you've probably done it for some time that you've got more skill in it than you think, and that the marketplace is going to value that skill. Tie that into your business, to your value in the marketplace. I really like that. Next one. There were so many good ones today. I really like make decisions quickly. So this was probably because he said, since I do it, I can ask people to do it. For us, we've invested in our business, invested in ourselves, went all in. So we're able to ask that of people in an ethical way. What do I mean by that? For us in our Herbalife business, because we have a lot of Herbalife distributors or clients on here, Roxy and I's personal product order is anywhere between $1,500 to $2,000 every month. So do you think it's an issue for us to say to somebody, get started on a $200 program, which is only like $6 a day? When Roxy and I spend 10 times that from our personal money because of how much we personally like it. So it's easy for us. But you know what wouldn't be? If we were spending $100 a month on our personal Herbalife products to say, hey, you should start on $300. It wouldn't be ethical. We wouldn't feel right. So for that, I love it because when you do it, you have the ethical opportunity to be able to share with people to do it. We have our Herbalife event, Extravaganza. It's the once-a-year event. It's in Houston this year, so it's not right down the street for really anybody in our organization. But what did we do? We bought our tickets. We bought our stay. We bought our event tickets as well. So it's so easy to say, hey, are you coming to Extravaganza with us? Because we've already invested over $1,000. And this is our 5th one, actually our 6th one. So you multiply that over the 5 years that we've been in Herbalife, we've invested over $6,000. It's probably more close to $10,000 in the extravaganzas that we've attended that we then bring value to our team and organization because of the info that we brought. So it's nothing to say, hey, grab your ticket. It's nothing to say, hey, come to this event. It's nothing to say, hey, jump on this nutrition program, because we did it. And it's easy to share because you're just sharing from what you've done yourself. So this is a big tip. If you want better clients, if you want solid distributors and team members in your organization, what do you got to do? You got to be it first. You got to be it first, because then that's the only way that you can have the opportunity and feel good. It's all about how you feel about it when you share it with others. I'll be so honest with you. When I meet somebody, like there's the cabana, the person that runs the cabanas right outside. We have cabanas on the back of our building. He was like, yo, what's up? I told him, yeah, we just got back from Punta. I'm getting back into work. And he's like, you guys travel out? I'm like, we're distributors with Herbalife. He's like, you never really heard of it. I was like, man, you got to come to this event. You know why I said that? Because in my life, in my personal experience, Herbalife changed my life. So I want to give him the opportunity. He's 19 years old. So when you've had that experience, you want to share it. But if you haven't done the work, if you haven't put in the investment, if you haven't given it your all, you won't have that experience, and then you won't want to share it. Because in your experience, it hasn't done that for you. So when you do it, your come from is so different. And that's why you'll see the difference in the people that build a team and the people that don't. The people who have a lot of clients and the people that don't. Because it's all about in the person they are. You guys, in Herbalife, it's the same products and marketing plan for everybody. So what's the difference maker? You got to ask. If it's the same products and it's the same 25% distributor that we all start at, what could be the difference? The difference is the person. How you invest, how you show up, who you are, how you treat people, how you grow. So, for example, when you're getting somebody started as a client, Roxy and I started on the $11 a day program, the advanced. So we say, hey, this is what we started on. It's so easy to share with people. When we're inviting to an event, we had got our tickets months ago. So it's so easy to invite people. When we're talking about getting started as a distributor, investing in your business, we've invested so much in seminars, events, our own membership, books, mentoring. It's easy to say start because we've done it. The ethics make it so easy. So when you do things, always ask yourself, if you're really serious about growing your Herbalife business, or even if you're a client on the recording, you're really serious about results, and you're wondering why people maybe don't support you and your friends and family, they're like, what are you doing? It's because probably in the past, you haven't shown up like that person yet. You've wishy-washy. You started something and stopped. You've done it and then you didn't. You were that way, and then a week later, you weren't that way. For Roxy and I, once we started, there was no going back. That's one of the biggest things that really helped us. Even when people said, why don't you eat or drink like this? Why are you doing that? Haven't you heard that business is this? Haven't you heard that? We said, this is who we are. Button on and everything. Because then that gave us the strength to say to our friends, family, and team members that would start, this is what you're going to go through. We've gone through it. You're going to be okay. Like my dad is coming out here this weekend. I joked with some of our friends out here. I was like, he's going to be all Herbalife now. This dude stormed out of my house when I first started Herbalife because he didn't continue on his own program. I said, Dad, I'll give you my TV and buy you a program if you just do it for 30 days. He said, I give you my word. I said, okay. I check on him 5 days in. He said, I stopped. I said, what the heck? I just gave you a TV. What the heck? He said, it made my stomach hurt when I went to the bathroom. I said, bro, you're clearing out because you eat like crap. I said, we had a deal, bro. You gave me a word. You got my TV on your stand. He's like, yo, let's talk about this Herbalife crap, and stormed out. And I'm like, what the heck? How many of us start because we want to get our friends and family healthy, right? And my dad storms out saying, I'm not doing this crap. But this weekend, he's going to be at the place that is possible because of Herbalife. And I bet you in front of everybody, he's going to be all down. I'm going to get him all on the gram. Y'all going to have to check him. I'm going to be like, Pops, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, man, Herbalife is cool, man. Y'all are doing it, right? You got to be that first. Because now when people talk to me about their family not supporting it, I'm like, oh, that's nothing. That's nothing. We've been through it. But if you don't ever go through it, you can't help anybody go through it. So realize the purpose of your challenge, the purpose of your obstacle may be bigger than you. It usually is. But your ethics when you go through it, I have no problem telling somebody, yo, man, people not going to support it. That's fine. Not everybody supported us when we started. But if you stay, they will. Like Dad going to be enjoying this view this weekend, and I'm going to be all up on him, right? Get to the other point, though. Don't just stop at the resistance point. You got to keep going through the other point. So let's get a few takeaways. I got some in the chat bar. Man, somebody wrote a good one. I like it. All right, let's give me a thumbs up or a smile if you want to share. Let me get a few takeaways. Let's get Susie. What do you got? Give me a takeaway.
What's up, man? I didn't get to hear the beginning, but from what I caught on, man, one of the things that I really like about Grant is just when he talks about like not stopping, you know, he talks about adversity. He talked about how, all the things that, you know, we don't see, the battles he has to fight constantly, you know, but he just doesn't give up. You know, he's older, but has that work ethic of like a 20-year-old. I love his energy. And, you know, one of the things that I get from Grant Cardone is just like not to settle. You know, that's one of the things that has really gotten to him to the success that he has now, is not ever settling, you know, knowing that there's more. His ability to like make money versus save money, like the whole concept, you know, kind of based on a conversation, you know, you and I were having last night, about just knowing that, you know, ways to create more, versus just like being all conservative and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it's just mind blowing to hear him. Like, I love it. Can't wait to hear the rest of that, actually.
Yeah, it was powerful. I love the way he said, I'll spend this because I know I'm going to make it back. Now, that doesn't mean just spend crazy, but it is a relationship to money, just like a relationship to oxygen. Nobody's like, I got to hold this because there's not more coming in. No, it's in and out, in and out, in and out. Everything in the universe is flow. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing is still. Same thing with money. I really love this point about when an entrepreneur starts, they're selfish if they stay just self-employed, meaning are they hiring assistants? Are they like, we hired a cleaning person to come and clean? You got to remember, it may seem like, oh, I can clean my own place, but actually you're providing a job for somebody that may not be able to get income like that in another position. And plus they're getting to see lifestyle. The lady that just cleaned our house has been on Herbalife for 11 years. We asked her, did she do the business? She was like, a little bit when she started. We're thinking in our head, you see how we live, this works as a business. So we're giving her belief. We may not know how that may even change her life. Then we're also providing to the economy by providing jobs. Like we have financial advisors, people that do our taxes. Like, what are you doing inside of your business that's going to create for even more people, right? I really love that point. That was powerful. Here, let me read the one from Tiff. I like this one. I really like when Grant talked about how his friend wanted to retire if he made a large sum of money. I always remember growing up and hearing my mom talk about if she won the lottery, she would stop working and retire. I would think, wow, that would be awesome. It wasn't until I hit 18-ish and finally asked my mom what she would do when the money runs out, and she didn't have a response. I knew at 18 that regardless of how much money I made, I would use that money to create a business or career like buying real estate or creating business to help others and to continue my income and growth. I don't plan to just relax or settle. I want to reach my full potential. Millionaires just don't stop working once they succeed. That hunger inside thrives to continue working and develop the business to continue to succeed. Got to always invest. Love that. Great stuff. One more takeaway. We got time. Give me a thumbs up or a smile. Let's get Steph, fresh off her STS and had her mom as a guest. Let's get it. What was your takeaway, Steph?
Yeah, so I actually follow Grant Cardone a lot. I actually have a couple of his books, one of them being Sell or Be Sold, which is really inspirational, motivational as well. So my biggest takeaway is you have to lead by example. And from my STS, the speaker was Jerry Graham, he was really awesome. So one of his quotes too was, don't take advice from people you wouldn't trade places with. And I thought that was really awesome because it makes sense. And he was kind of going into like the whole personal training role, which I am a trainer. And he said that if he was to go into a gym and he saw a trainer that didn't, meet the criteria of being a trainer, he's like, I would not invest my money in somebody like that just because they're obviously not putting forth the effort to get, to reach that maximum goal themselves. So why would he want to take advice from somebody who he wouldn't trade places with? So that was one of my biggest takeaways as far as just leading by example and having a great work ethic, and you'll be successful. So
love it. Absolutely. Leading by example, not taking advice from people you wouldn't trade places with. That is like, it's so funny. If you see how many dentists actually don't have good teeth, like it's really like interesting. A lot of financial advisors, They say half of all financial advisors aren't even financially stable themselves and don't have investments. The number of personal trainers that I see that are not in shape is just funny. And then people will still rock with them too. So it's really crucial to understand that the journey you're on will take you to where it's going. So for example, the one example that's always stuck out to me because it didn't hit me until so late, but not actually, it actually hit me early in my career, thank God. I was working at a job where my director was making more money, so we want to be the boss, right? Making more money. We're like, yo, on Friday they get paid more. I want to be the boss. And I sat and I thought, but what I want my boss's life. I'm working so hard. You work at a job because you naturally want to move up. We want to progress as human beings. And I sat and thought to myself, it's like, if I'm going to be here, I want to move up. But do I want to move up to there? And that's what you got to ask yourself. We tell people all the time that are like, hey, I want to build my Herbalife business. Hey, I want to do this. And what they don't understand is that you only have a certain amount of hours in the week. So if you only have a certain amount of hours in the week, where you invest them takes you somewhere. Like Jim Rohn says, he says, it's not so much about how much money you're making at a job. It's what is this job making of me? Because there's a lot of jobs where you can sit down and maybe you're a security person or maybe you're that. Maybe you clean, or it's not that those are bad, but it's like over time, what are they making of you? Are you saving some of that money, investing on the side, or are you just sitting there? So thinking about, do I want to become who my boss is, regardless of the money? Because remember, you can make money in a lot of different ways. But do you want to be that person? Because if you're doing what that person has done, guess what? You're going to trade places with that person. And that's such a crucial thing to understand. As you invest, so you become. Now, we don't tell anybody to quit their job or anything like that. But the thing is that people will do is they'll invest their bulk of their energy and their time, which is your biggest asset, into a thing that they say they don't want to become because it's safe. And then they'll give their leftovers to their dreams. They'll work 8 hours a day. They'll go to the gym for an hour. Then they'll spend 15 to 30 minutes on their Herbalife business. But they'll say, hey, I want my Herbalife business to be my future. You just spent 15 minutes to 30 minutes on it. Think about what you're telling the universe. You spent 8 hours at your job, an hour or two commuting, an hour at the gym, 30 minutes on your Herbalife business. What do you think you're telling the universe you want to become? One of the first things I did when we started Herbalife is I went and asked our boss, or my boss, I said, hey, what could I go part-time? How low could I drop my hours to still keep some of my benefits? Because I currently have benefits at the time. I said, could I go to 30 hours and still keep my benefits? They said, yeah. Now, 30 hours we know is going to drop the paycheck, right? But I said, I just need to work the minimum to still get that little because I thought I needed that stuff. But, just stay healthy, right? And would you be willing to do that? Because then it went from 8 hours to 6 hours at the job, an hour commute, 2 to 3 hours of Herbalife and an hour gym. But I turned our workout into Herbalife. I said, hey, let's work out together, called a fit camp. So I'm going to use my hour of working out as a business builder. That's called bringing them together. So 2 to 3 hours. What do you think I told the universe when I did that? That's what we always share with people. You got to invest in the future you want. Because then that's going to take you where you're going. And don't trade places with anybody, or don't take advice from anybody you wouldn't trade places with, AKA somebody down the road, your boss, your manager. If you want their life, then keep taking their advice. Keep doing what they do. But if you don't, you got to invest accordingly. So fired up, you guys. Amazing nuggets today. Thank you so much for sharing. Tiff, Steph, Susie, you guys share these on your social media. Share them with your friends and family. Share them in your client and coach threads. Do not leave Grant's nuggets of wisdom with yourself. You got to pay them forward because then they really sink into another level. So I'm going to take everybody off mute. Let's get some energy. Fire!
Happy Monday. Let's go. Woo!